These warehouses are enormous, and it smells like engine grease and salt water, a combo nobody warned me about. Everything here is either steel, timber, or concrete. No shortcuts. They built this place to last. That foreman is pointing at the dry dock like he owns the Pacific Ocean. Maybe he kind of does. I'm looking straight down into a dry dock. They drain the water to work on the ship's bottom. Insane. People think Pearl Harbor was just a target, but by 1941, it was already a major Pacific naval station. Seeing a battleship up close isn't like a picture. It's like standing next to a building that can move. They're constantly loading supplies onto ships. I counted 3 cranes on this pier, all running at once. This rope alone is thicker than my whole arm, and one ship uses 20 of these. I'm gonna act like I belong here and see how far I get before someone gives me a look. Expansion schedules are posted right here on the wall. New fuel storage, more dry docks. They were planning years ahead. These fuel tanks stored millions of gallons of oil above ground. That detail gets very important very fast. A decision made here before the attack was to move the aircraft carriers out, so 3 carriers survived December 7. Everything moves by truck. No forklifts, no motorized pallets, just trucks, carts, and a lot of men doing everything manually. That's the machine shop. They made replacement parts for ships here on base. If something broke, they fixed it. This little part probably goes on a ship worth millions, made by hand with a machine of gears and patience. Safety standards in 1940 were a work in progress. He's drilling with glasses on his forehead. I won't say anything. The more I walk around this place, the more I realize how massive the operation already was, still growing. They're pouring a foundation right now. This building didn't exist yet. The base was expanding before the attack. Hand-cranked concrete mixer. Everything you see being built here today, someone mixed one batch at a time. Pearl Harbor in 1940 had around 15,000 civilian workers. Not military, just people doing construction and maintenance. I just walked from the shipyard to the airfield. This base had ships, planes, fuel, workshops, basically a city. Inside this hangar, they have patrol planes, PBY Catalinas, I think, meant to be watching for exactly what happened. On December 7th, most planes here were parked wingtip to wingtip. Easier to guard from sabotage, not from attack above. They feared ground sabotage, not air attack, so they clustered planes to watch them. Nobody expected a carrier strike here. Incredible weather, blue sky, no clouds, warm. It'll look like a perfect Sunday morning in December, which makes everything worse. These are the barracks. Saturday nights, many guys would go out in Honolulu. Sunday mornings, they'd be here sleeping. He's writing a letter home. I wonder what they wrote before December 7th. Probably everyday stuff, nothing dramatic. The average age of sailors killed on December 7th was 19. Many were at Pearl Harbor less than a year. The mess hall. Sunday breakfast was the biggest meal of the week. Many were eating when the first planes arrived. Scrambled eggs and toast on a Sunday morning in Hawaii. That was their reality on December 7th before 7:55 a.m. A battleship is moving right now. The scale is hard to understand until you see it next to something. Docking a battleship isn't quick. Tugs push and pull, slow and precise. One mistake, you dent 35,000 tons of steel.
8 battleships lay here December 7, 1941. 4 sank, 4 damaged, but those sunk were raised and returned to service.
Wait, is that a Navy band rehearsing? Yes, it is. They played every morning at flag raising and official ceremonies. On December 7th, Navy bands were playing Morning Colors when the attack started. Some kept playing briefly before anyone understood. There's something about hearing band music in this place that hits differently when you know what's going to happen here. Back at the dry dock, they're scraping a ship's hull clean. The USS Pennsylvania was here December 7th and survived.
Cold, genuinely cold. This steel plate is 2 or 3 inches thick, and workers scrape every square foot by hand. Dry docking a battleship takes weeks. Pump water out, inspect the hull, repair corrosion, repaint below the waterline. A huge operation. The foreman almost asked who I was, then decided he had more important things to do. Lucky for me.
Okay, that's a weapons storage building. Guards staring at me. I'll keep walking like I know where I'm going. Okay, I did not get kicked out. I am still here, so let's just keep moving on.
This is the raw materials yard. They stockpiled everything because supply chains to Hawaii were long and slow in 1940.
Timber and steel came by ship across the Pacific, so a working naval base here was vital. Pearl Harbor was 2,400 miles from San Francisco. Every bolt, beam, and fuel drum came by ship. Almost impossible logistics. Supply ship just got in. They're offloading cargo nets full of crates. By the waterline, she was riding deep. Standing under a cargo net and looking up, you understand how physical this is. Just hand signals and muscle memory.
Radio tower.
Communications. A radar station on Oahu's north shore detected the planes at 7:02, but the report was dismissed. 2 privates spotted radar blips and reported it. Their superior said probably B-17s from the mainland. Bombs fell by 7:55. Submarine bases over here. Pearl Harbor wasn't just about battleships. Submarines were here too and damaged Japan's supply lines.
Submarines survived December 7th mostly intact, but Japanese attackers also used 5 midget subs, all sunk or ran aground.
A Japanese midget sub commander became America's first Japanese POW in WW Sioux, pulled from Oahu on December 7th. Lunch break. Civilian contractors, plumbers, electricians, ironworkers had families in Honolulu. On December 7th, civilians working here were killed too. Paint shop. Everything on this base gets painted. In 1940, ship paint was lead-based. Nobody thought twice.
He pushed his respirator up. I don't think I'll say anything. Different era, different standards. I hope he's okay.
It's past noon and this place is non-stop. Shifts overlap. When day workers break, another group comes in. Before December 7th, the Naval Hospital had 200 beds. After the attack, it received nearly 500 casualties in one morning.
Now this building seems like the quietest place on base. In weeks, it'll be the most overwhelmed on the island.
From this exact angle, the Japanese pilots had a perfect run, low over the mountains, lining up the whole row. Sitting here at 7:55 on December 7th, you'd have seen smoke first, then heard it.
The attack came in 2 waves. 353 Japanese aircraft launched from 6 carriers after sailing 4,000 miles in radio silence.
This construction site gets me. They were building the base up until the end. New storage, docks, buildings, none finished.
I tried tying rebar once. My hands lasted about 4 minutes. These guys do it all day in Hawaiian heat.
Standing inside a half-built building at Pearl Harbor in 1940 feels deeply strange. I can't explain. You feel the timeline.
The power substation. The base ran on its own grid. Keeping power on during the attack was critical.
Everything on this base relies on that substation. Take it out and the whole base goes dark.
I just made eye contact with a base cat, more confident walking around here than I am, completely unbothered.
Formation drill. They did it every day no matter what was happening on the waterfront or in the machine shops. The training and discipline you're watching is what let people respond so fast on December 7th, even in shock.
Sailors were manning anti-aircraft guns within minutes of the first explosion, firing before any order. That comes from daily repetition. Hand crank fuel pumps. Even filling a truck is physical work here. Nothing is automatic, everything takes more time and people. Crane barge. They use it to lift heavy equipment or modules beyond fixed dock cranes' reach. A floating workshop crane.
After December 7th, these crane barges worked around the clock, clearing harbor debris and salvaging sunken battleships for months.
The Pearl Harbor post-attack salvage was one of the largest in naval history, refloating 6 of 8 battleships, rarely mentioned.
They're building the seawall out here, extending it. Every few hundred yards, another crew is expanding the base outward.
Fresh concrete, salt water, a pelican completely uninterested in me. That's about where I am right now.
I've walked this base all day. They built all this, still building it, then 2 Sunday morning hours, much burned.
The Naval Exchange, where sailors buy soap, candy, smokes, was open the morning of December 7th, not by 8 a.m.
A candy bar costs 5 cents. I'm staring at the price board like a tourist, just 80 years off schedule. Butterscotch. If you ever time travel to Pearl Harbor in 1940, the butterscotch is good. That's my contribution to history. Anti-aircraft gun emplacement. These were being installed all over the base in 1940 and 1941, but there weren't nearly enough.
This AA gun could reach Japanese planes' altitude. You needed gunners, ammo, warning time. On December 7th, they had none.
Consider this. I'm looking at an unloaded, partly canvas-covered, unmanned anti-aircraft gun. That's what attack planners counted on. It's getting late. The harbor in this late afternoon light looks like a painting that hasn't gone wrong yet. Evening shift. The work doesn't stop at sundown. Some dry dock operations ran all night under portable incandescent lights. This is the view. All 8 battleships moored in line. You see why Japanese pilots called it the perfect target.
On December 7, 1941, 2,403 Americans were killed. 11,007 from the USS Arizona alone.
I've walked this base for hours, yet seen only a piece. It was that big, important, and growing in 1940.
I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe home, maybe nothing. But watching him here, at this railing, before December 1941. Office lights are still on. Evening watch in the administrative building. Duty officers reviewing reports that won't predict what's coming.
The attack was to knock out the Pacific Fleet, letting Japan expand into Southeast Asia and become unassailable, but failed.
Evening at the barracks. Cards, radio, probably somebody arguing about baseball. Every base in every era has this scene. At radio. On December 7th, civilians heard about the attack first on radio. Some thought it was fiction. It wasn't. To be somewhere, know what's coming, and be unable to say a word. I've been thinking all day. No answer.
Coming back to the water one last time tonight. The harbor in the dark feels bigger than at noon.
Night watch. They posted sentries on ships and piers, watching for saboteurs from ground, not air or 200 miles north.
Anti-aircraft ammunition was locked up, guns unmanned through the night. Peacetime protocol.
All day I walked around an unaware base. Not careless, just operating exactly as a peacetime naval station should.
This building they're constructing wasn't going to finish on schedule. After December 7th, this base shifted to war mode overnight.
Within hours of the attack, the Navy began unprecedented emergency construction. By December 8th, this base was already transformed.
Heading back toward the gate, trying to figure out how to end this day with any sense.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Hopefully the last one like this.
From here you can see the base, cranes, ships, hangars, piers, operational, busy, unaware of what's coming in 3 weeks. What I didn't expect was how normal this felt. Not dramatic or ominous, just a working naval base in 1940.
This guard will sleep, maybe write home, or listen to the radio Saturday night in Honolulu. Sunday morning changes everything. This morning I stood out here looking in. Now it's dark, quiet, and in 3 weeks it'll all look different.
Pearl Harbor wasn't a target, but a naval power nobody thought could be reached by air. That was its vulnerability.
I keep thinking of the dry dock, machine shop, card games. This place was alive. It stayed alive afterward, differently.
Honestly, what surprised me most was the scale. Pearl Harbor was a city with its own hospital and power grid.
One last thing. America recovered fast after December 7th because the base's infrastructure survived. Japan destroyed ships, not the base.
If you found this interesting, subscribe. We go to more places like this that look quiet before everything changes.
What do you think was the single most critical asset that Japan should have targeted and didn't? Drop it below.